Hi everyone, welcome to Site 24/7's webinar series and hope you're all safe today. I am Rohit and I'll be hosting and presenting this webinar. The topic of today's webinar that we'll be discussing is communicate outages, showcase reliability and build trust using Site 24/7 StatusIQ. The agenda for today's webinar will include a brief introduction about Site 24/7, after which we'll look at the need for status pages, followed by a full product demo of Site 24/7 StatusIQ. And finally, we'll finish the webinar by briefly talking about Site 24/7's full stack monitoring capabilities. Let's start the main crux of the webinar by taking a look into the need for status page in today's businesses. So first off, what exactly is a status page? To put it simply, status pages are web pages that enable you to communicate incidents, schedule maintenances and downtimes with your customers, and also with your own team members. These status pages can either be public or private in nature. Public status pages help in building customer trust by showcasing the reliability of a platform in real time, while private status pages help in communicating downtimes and incidents with your internal teams. Status pages are an easy and quick way to communicate the current status of your service with both your customers and employees, ensuring quick resolution of issues and avoiding bad customer relations. So now that we know what a status page exactly is, what is the advantage of having one? So in this slide, we have listed down 6 major advantages of having a status page. Going forward in the next slides, we'll be looking at each of these points in more detail. So the first point we'll be discussing is how status pages help us in avoiding a customer service disaster. So one thing that is certain, especially if you're into tech, is that there are going to be downtimes. Rather than denying this, how we deal with it and learn from it is what is more important. However, during these downtimes, businesses can get flooded with tickets from customers from all over the world, and a large portion of the effort goes into just responding to these tickets than to resolving the issue itself. Status pages can resolve this problem by keeping your customers updated about the issue in real time, assuring your customers that the problem is being handled. Some studies have found that a simple status page can reduce support tickets by nearly 90%, which brings us to a second point, which is reduction of support costs. Now, reducing support costs is definitely beneficial for the business, but it's also beneficial for the customers because it helps them understand an issue without even the need to create a support ticket. Moreover, status pages will also help by notifying the support team about the issue, helping them respond better if any customers still want to call in. This will help you redirect any funds you wanted to use to build a large support team into something else, whatever you want to do for your team. The third advantage of status pages is that it allows you to go beyond traditional social media platforms when it comes to communicating a downtime or an issue with your customer. So one argument that somebody can have is, why do you need a status page when you can use your Twitter or Facebook pages or LinkedIn profile to directly communicate any outages with your customers? So the obvious rebuttal to this can be how such posts or tweaks will lack the amount of information that a status page will provide. But other than that, this argument is based on the assumption that all of your customers are following you on social media, which might not be the case always. Having a simple status page will ensure that customers don't need to go to your social media profiles and search for an update. Moreover, if we go one step further, most status page providers will also give you options to alert customers through email or SMS during an outage, ensuring that these customers don't even need to come to your status page to know about the outages in your service. The fourth advantage of a status page is how it can help in showcasing the reliability of your services. Now, as I mentioned earlier, downtimes are inevitable, but they don't necessarily happen all the time. And as such, making customers aware of an issue is only one part of having a status page. Another very important motivation isn't just to showcase your lows, but also to showcase your highs to the customers. All your customers need to do is look at your status page, and without even saying a word, they'll be assured about the reliability of your product, which will build long term trust with them as well as improve your overall brand image. The fifth advantage is how status pages can help you improve your SLAs for free. So, how is this possible? It's pretty simple. The less time you spend in resolving support tickets, the more time and resources you have to help you improve your SLA without paying any extra price. Moreover, with the status page in place, you as a business can also get a real time view of how you're performing in front of your customer, which allows you to put higher goals and work towards achieving them. And finally, the last point we'll be looking at today is how status pages can help us in both internal and external communication. So I'm sure that most of you would have noticed that in some examples I gave in the previous slides, I not only spoke about how status pages can be used to communicate with your customers, but also how they can be used to communicate internally. So there's a fundamental difference between how you can use status pages in both these cases. For example, status pages that need to have any external communication needs to have information that is built to trust with your customer. So, for example, information you can share can include operational status of your service, severity of impact, impacted dependent services, and the steps that were taken to resolve the issue. On the other hand, status pages that are used for internal communication needs to include information that is essential for collaboration. So, for example, information about individual applications, traces, logs, all these things which can be easily understood by your engineering teams, as well as information that customer facing teams like marketing and support can use for external communication. So simply put, status pages in different forms, both internally and externally, will help you move your organization towards a culture of transparency, both with your customers as well as with your colleagues and peers. So based on the points we have discussed, it is obvious that in today's business environment, and especially SaaS business environment, having a status page is not a want but a need. But even if you agree with me on the utility of a status page, some of you might feel this is something that can be done in-house in an organization at a lower cost. But truth be told, for an organization that is not into the business of selling a status page solution, it's always recommended to go with the second option and purchase something ready-made. So there are three reasons for this. Number one, in the case of an in-house solution, keeping a status page up when your data center itself is down will be quite challenging. Since third-party vendors have a business reason to ensure the availability of your status pages, this issue will not arise there. Secondly, the amount of man-hours that will be required to create a status page and also ensure that it runs as expected will be quite high. Again, this is a waste of effort which you can instead utilize in resolving the issues that may arise in your service. Thirdly, the amount of resources that is required to maintain a status page infrastructure can be quite high and it will eat into your budget. So you will need budget for the need to host the status page on servers outside your data centers. Also, you have to start a messaging infrastructure that will help you alert your users about downtimes via emails or text. The thing that the reality is creating an in-house solution is actually more expensive than buying a ready-made one. So one of these third-party status page services that are available in the market is StatusIQ from Site24/7. StatusIQ will help you to transparently communicate with your customers or your employees about an outage. Also, you have the option to white label your status pages with your logo, making customers think that the communication is coming directly from you and not from a third-party service. StatusIQ also helps you build trust in your product with your customers by providing a detailed look at the incident history of your services along with other performance metrics. And although it's incredibly easy to integrate your Site 24/7 monitoring account with StatusIQ, we have ensured that you can integrate any other monitoring tool as well using REST API or email notification. So with that, let's learn more about how you can add a new status page in StatusIQ. I'll take you to a live example and then we'll start building a status page from scratch. So first off, navigate to the grid icon on the top left and select StatusIQ. So here there are already a few status pages that have been added. We'll start with something new. So we'll click on add status page. Then give all this basic information. So the name of the status page. So you can give whatever name you want. I'm just going with the example here. So this is a customer that we have called Zilka. And we are adding the status page for them. So status page for all Zilka employees and customers. And give the company name and the company website URL. So the need for giving the company website URL is to give a landing page when you add a logo. So basically, when you add a logo, what happens is on clicking that logo, the customers will be taken to your landing page. So that's the reason why we are given the company website URL over there. So after you have done this, the next important thing to learn about in status pages are components. So components basically reflect the status of your service. So every service or application that you want to show in your status page will act as a separate component. So you can add your services and individually as different components. We'll start with one. We'll give a name for your components. Let it be CRM. One description, again subjective. You can give whatever you want here. And component group. So component group, as of now, there's nothing that's already been added. So we'll add a new one, and we'll give the name as Zilka Cloud. So here we are trying to add a Zilka Cloud as a component group, where under Zilka Cloud we'll have multiple applications like Zilka CRM, Zilka Mail, etc. So then you have to decide how you want to update your status on your status page. So you have three options. Either you can import directly the monitors from Site 24/7, or you can update status via email. So this is basically used whenever you have a in-house monitoring tool. By default, we keep it for updating via REST API, which is for third-party monitoring tools. So if you're using any other third-party monitoring tools, just click Save here, and then it will show you the the steps that you need to take to update your status page by following these REST API simple steps. So now let's say that you are actually using Site 24/7 and not a third-party monitoring tool. So in that case, it's very simple. You can just go here, click on Edit, and then change it to Update Status from Site 24/7, and then give your monitor name. So I'll give this real browser monitor here, and click Save. So what happens now is whenever the status of the monitor will get changed in Site 24/7, the status of the components will also get auto updated in StatusIQ. So the reason I'm showing you an example of an RBM monitor here is the RBM monitor that I added is integrated with real user monitoring, and it gives you a lot more minute details that you can share with your customers. So for example, how your different users are experiencing your website from different parts of the world. So all that will be captured through AppDeck score, and we can share it with the customer, so they'll understand that this is a problem that everybody around the world is facing, and it's not something that they alone are experiencing. So yeah, now it has been added. Just click on this, and you can see that now you can see how the this particular website is behaving from different parts of the world. You also have user experience scores shown here, and also the performance metrics. So the next step after adding a component is to add an incident. So incident are basically outages or any performance degradation incidents that you want to showcase to your customers. So to do that, just click on Create Incident. Then again, select what incident type it is. We'll keep it as active for now. And then give a incident title. So let's say CRM is down. Severity, we'll select major. Select the affected components. Incident status can be investigating. So again, you can give whatever description you want to give. Give a status update, and then you can decide whether you want to notify your subscribers about the issue or not. So since it's a major outage, we recommend that you keep this selected and then click Save. Now let's say in case you want to update post an update to the incident. So your team has worked on it, they have found a solution, and they have also implemented it, and they're currently waiting for the final result to come. So what you can do is you can click on post update, go back to the incident status and change it to observing, and then give any status update you want. So let's say fix updated, something, whatever you want to do, and then click post update. Now go back to the main status page, and you can see that in the active incidents column, you're getting two status updates. First one is investigating, and the second one is also being shown that it's the fix has been updated and we are currently observing it. Now, in case this is for a unplanned outage, something that you're currently facing, but what if you want to update your customers about a maintenance period or a planned outage? So that also we have an option called the upcoming maintenance section here. So once again, click on schedule maintenance, add a name. So I'll give ad hoc maintenance and give some details. So anything you want, you can give over here. So we'll keep the frequency as 1. So again, we have different options. If you want to show a maintenance window that is regular in nature, you can also do that here. Then change the date, and you can keep the time period whatever you want. Change the time zone, select the affected components, and finally you can notify or decide not to notify your customers. Whatever you want to do, you can select from here. There are a lot of different options to notify your subscribers. And once you're done, click save. So again, so active incidents, you have the component summary, and now you have a section for the maintenance also. So by displaying the status history, the incident history, and the maintenance history, you are keeping a transparency with your customers about your service. So this will allow the customers to see that the status history is 100% or 99%, and it will give them credibility about your service. So in StatusIQ, we have the option to allow users to view the status history for up to 90 days. Now, it may be that you do not wish to have your customers visit the status page all the time, and I guess it's not practically possible as well. A user would only wish to visit the status page when they're not able to access their application. So this is where we provide you with the option for subscribers. So you go to the subscriber tab on the left, and here you can define who are the subscribers who will get notified in case of a downtime or anything that you want to, any incident that you want to communicate with them. So click on add subscribers. Again, you can give whatever name. So I'll give my name here. Give the email ID and then just click save. That's it. So very simple, but I guess it's not practically possible for for people to give this do it in this way for all the time, because there'll be a lot of subscribers that you want to add. So for that option, we have the import subscribers tab here. Here you just need to download the sample file, understand what is the format in which you have to upload, then upload a CSV or TXT file, and that's it, done. All of them will be automatically added for as subscribers here. Same process for the SMS subscribers as well. Now, other than this, so this is a very, I would say, a very important feature, because this ensures that all your subscribers will be automatically notified in case of a downtime. So this is a feature that you do not find in other regular status pages, and is something that we have inbuilt for our customers here. Now, another important feature other than the subscriber list is the customization tab. So basically what this does is it helps you to customize your status page's look and feel to make it seem like it's directly coming from you and there's no third-party service that is involved. So here you get the option to completely white label your status page with a custom logo or favicon. You can also change your to and from email address in the email section. And you also get the option to have custom domain redirection with free SSL certificates. So let's take an example. So let's say I want to change the logo. So click on upload logo. Then select from your computer or whatever. And that's it. We have added a logo now. Now let's say I want to change the to and from email. So again, you go to this section here and then add it over here. what we have done here is we have made the send from email as status@zilker.com. So whenever the email goes to a customer, it will seem like it's coming from status@zilker.com. And whenever the customer replies back to this email, it will automatically go to support@zilker.com. So it will automatically create a support ticket. You don't need to get involved in it and maybe send a support ticket to your support team. Nothing of that is required. It will automatically do everything here, and then just click save. So with that, we have finished the basic status page. Let's see how that looks. So this is how a basic status page will look. You can see that the logo has also been updated. So now that we have seen how to create a status page and log incidents in it, before we move on to the settings section, let's take a quick recap of whatever we learned till now. So firstly, to add a new status page in StatusIQ, you log into Site 24/7, click on the grid icon, select the StatusIQ, click on Add Status Page, and give the necessary information such as name, domain URL, etc. Then to add a component, you can either choose a default option or you can import monitors directly from Site 24/7 individually or as monitor groups. The monitors you choose from Site 24/7 will help you transparently showcase performance of your application from various endpoints. Next, we have incident communication, where you can update severity options for each outage you face, as well as mark progress levels based on the resolution efforts being done at your end. If you're going to have a planned outage, you can use the scheduled maintenance option, where you can pre-plan maintenance windows for components with various frequencies, as well as update its progress to the end users via email and REST API. You also get the option in StatusIQ to publish status history for the last 90 days, which helps to build trust with your new users. And you also get the option to choose the subscriber list who needs to be notified in case of an outage or performance degradation. Finally, with StatusIQ, you can customize every part of your status page from logo to favicon to your to and from email as well. So that finishes our first section of looking at StatusIQ. The next section is customization or settings tab, where we look at how we can customize your widgets or your privacy settings and automation. So we'll try to get through this as quickly as possible. So let's go back to the client. So first, in settings tab, we have the widget controls. So widget controls basically decides how your status page will look to your end users. So if you want to show your incidents, or if you don't want to show, you just need to toggle this button. Same thing for maintenance windows or your component summaries. Everything is decided from here. So let's say I don't want to show my maintenance history to my end users. So you just toggle this button and ensure that the maintenance history is no longer shown to your customers. Similarly, you can decide whatever thing you want. So basically, anything you want to do, you can completely customize this status page and present it to your subscribers. Let's click Save Changes. The next part we have is status automation. So automation is something that makes your life easier in marking incidents. So for instance, when the status change is pushed via Site 24/7 for the applications that's being monitored in Site 24/7, you never have to worry about creating the incidents manually. And you can also make your users get notified automatically via email or SMS about the status of the incidents. So let's say, for example, I don't want to create an incident, just update the status. So you can select that option here, and this will ensure that the incident is not created automatically. You have a similar option for third-party monitoring services as well, where you can automate via email. So once you've decided what you want to do, just select the options and click Save. Next, we have the alerting mode. So this is basically the master console, where you decide who receives your notifications via email or SMS or RSS feed. So other than that, you also have the option to allow users to subscribe to individual components instead of subscribing to the whole status page. And you also have the options to notify admins about long running incidents. So what happens is sometimes admins tend to miss incidents that are in down status for a long time. So by selecting this option here, this will ensure that they are notified on a continuous basis, so that they can take action to close the incident. Again, click Save. And next option is the security option. So this is a very important section. So here you decide how public or how private your status page is. So we have IP restriction options, password protection options, and you can also disable search engine indexing. So if you don't want your status page to show up in Google or Bing searches, you can just disable it here and it will not show anywhere there. So let's try an example. We'll try to block my computer from accessing this status page. So go to add IP ranges and give any IP range that doesn't have my computer there. So just give this, click save. Now go to Zilka status, and you can see that now it's showing as a restricted page for me. I'm not able to access it. If I want to access it, I have to go back to the admin and ask him to change that. So let's say I deleted the IP ranges. Go back here, and now I am able to see the entire thing. So that concludes our settings section. So before we move on, let's once again do a quick recap of the settings section. So first up, we have widget control, which helps in customizing the overall look and feel in the status page, followed by status automation to automate status and incident creation. Then you have the master view for alerting, where you choose how to alert all users. And finally, the privacy settings, which will help you decide how public you wish to make your status page. So with that, I've already shown you an example of how a complete status page looks. We'll also take a look at a live example. So this is the screenshot of the status page that Zoho has. So this status page has over 100 applications on board, and it uses StatusIQ to broadcast the status of all their applications to the global users around the clock. So one question that you might have after all this is, what is the price at which we offer StatusIQ? So the pricing for StatusIQ is very transparent. We have two different plans. We have a simple free plan for people who want to try out StatusIQ. And then we have the fully loaded green plan. So the free plan offers you minimalistic features like addition of 10 components per page, 100 subscribers, and standard support. Whereas the green plan with one status page gives you the complete feature set of StatusIQ with the addition of 50 components per status page, 250 subscribers, and an add-on option to buy more if you want. So you also get the automation features that I showed you, which you get not only for Site 24/7, but also for your third-party applications. Let's take a quick look at the full stack monitoring capabilities that Site 24/7 offers. So as a full stack solution, Site 24/7 provides you with other options to monitor different parts of your infrastructure. Site 24/7 also provides you AI-powered monitoring, which supports anomaly detection and forecasting that helps identify unusual spikes or variations in critical metrics. The forecasting engine, along with an anomaly detection, helps to predict when a disk space can run out of space or proactively detect issues, and it will reduce your mean time to resolve. Site 24/7 is also available as an app on Android and iOS platforms, where this will help you to receive alerts and notifications on the go. So other than that, we also have a collaboration with a variety of different third-party integrations. So the full list is as shown here. If there are any third-party integration that is not provided, we also have the webhooks option, using which you can instantly integrate them with Site 24/7. So more than 10,000 customers trust us to gain comprehensive insight into their infrastructure and application. Some of our biggest customers are as shown in this slide. Now, if you wish to get regular updates about Site 24/7, please follow us on the social media handles as shown here. You can also learn more about our products through our resources pages. And if you wish to contact us for more details, you can email us at support@site247.com or sales@site247.com. If you have any feedbacks for webinars, you can give it to us at webinars@site247.com. You can also chat with our representatives using the chat link. And you can also call us using one of these toll-free numbers. So thank you all for your time.